Hey guys, welcome back. Well, we got a new cam program set up. It's a new day. We cut everything in half, so basically the RPMs and stuff are the same, but our actual step over, so when this end mill's cutting, like how far it steps into the material, is now half. So it used to be basically 48 thou step over. Now it's going to be a 24 thou step over. So that cuts our material removal rate in half. We did take some stuff apart and just take a look. So when this had slipped, it had oil all over it, which makes sense. We're spraying oil in the spindle, so it looks like that's kind of a problem we're creating. But we did tighten up the drawbar even tighter than last time, and we cut our feed in half. So I think, or the material removal rate's cut in half. So I think hopefully this cut is easier on the machine, and there's not enough vibration to cause that to move. But we're about to find out. So the downside is now this is saying it's going to take about 50 minutes to rough this part out, whereas before it was about half that. So it is slower, but hey, we got to be able to make parts, and I'd rather make them slow and at least make them. So we're going to give this a shot. Okay, so I'm going to try to put this in words. So let's pretend like we're not looking at the part right now, okay? Let's just look over here. So while we were machining, the sound was pretty bad. It was really loud, and so it sounded bad. Especially some cuts were worse than others. And then this whole headstock was shaking while we were machining, and sometimes it was shaking pretty bad. Other times not so bad, but like I said, sometimes it was pretty rough. Rougher than you would want, I'm sure. And there was a little bit of shaking on the table. It wasn't so bad, but it did shake the table some, and again, you don't really like that. And there was a few times where I saw it throw some sparks. You don't really want to see that, I don't think. And it was kind of slow cutting. That took like an hour. So basically, if you watch the process and you look at, you know, what it sounds like, what it feels like, how long it takes, it all seems bad. Okay, now forget about that for a second. Now let's just pretend like we didn't see how it was made and we just look at it. For roughing, the actual part looks fine. This is fine for roughing. I'm going to go back with a nice end mill and finish this slowly, and it'll clean up a lot better when it gets finished. So if you just look at the part, this doesn't look too bad. Now let's go look at the tooling. Here's the edge. It's not broke. It's got some wear. You can see the coating's rubbed off the edge. You see that bright yellow? I'll try to zoom it in a little. So there's like this yellow, it's called a TIN, I don't know what that stands for, but something coating that's like low friction basically. It's rubbed off the edge, but the edge itself, I mean, it's a little dulled, but it's still got a, you know, it's not broken. Flip to the other one. It's about the same. Maybe a little more wear on this one. I don't really know. But again, it's not broken. We're still cutting. I could probably make another part with this. So the end mill doesn't look too bad. Oh yeah, one other thing. So when we were running the part, this is our variable frequency drive, and I have it set to amps, so it's at 0 because it's off. But when you turn the spindle on, it would run at 4 amps, just for free spinning. And then when it went into a cut, about the highest I saw was 5 amps, but we were just typically averaging about 4.8. So that VFD is rated to 11 amps. It'll run at 11 amps all day. So we're running at about less than half of its maximum continuous duty amps. So that seems good. So it's like some stuff you look at and you say, oh wow, that looks good. You know, we got a part that, you know, for roughing, this is acceptable. Our end mill wear looks acceptable. Our amps on the spindle looks acceptable. Everything's good. But then when you actually watch it cut, it's loud and it's shaking and it doesn't sound good and it seems bad and it takes a while. So I kind of don't know what to think. Part of me likes this and part of me doesn't like this. So, I don't know. But hey, we made one. I don't know if this is actually going to be a usable part because I think they got off a little bit. Maybe it's still savable. I know when it did this bore, it was cutting on this side, not that side, but I just let it run because whether this becomes a usable part or not, I really just need to figure out how to make it. Anyway, it's kind of my thoughts on that.